Hello, everyone. My name is Chris Murphy, and thank you for visiting my channel. This channel is all about empowering agents to master their craft and become better leaders. If you find this information helpful, give me a like, share, comment. If you think this dude's weird, comment on that. I'm all for it. Let's have a conversation. Let's get into the numbers. We've got 190 dials. We had 12 pickups. I got 3 quotes out. 2 apps started and 2 apps closed. So that was pretty awesome. We got 2 policies today. And our talk time is 214 minutes. So as you're noticing, I'm getting more talk time than dials. I'm starting to get through more quotes and presentations. Everything's starting to click. Muscle memory of being on the phone, being in it every single day, working out all the kinks. Today was a pretty amazing day. We had started off with Lasting Mark, the IMO we're part of. So we do a Monday launch call, and Zach got on there, and man, he just dropped the mic. I mean, it was simple, but it was so effective. He talked about basically like 3 choices that you have every day that you get to make. And one of them was discipline over doubt, action over excuses, and purpose over fear. So that was pretty much like a 30-minute talk that he gave on those 3 things. It was incredible and so true on so many of them, because I feel like, if you have discipline over doubt, doubt's emotional. Discipline's not. You know, it's factual, and it builds permanent results. Like when you look at actions over excuses, like obviously, we know what excuses are. And actions, they're logical. Excuses are protecting your emotions. So I'm like, that's totally so true. And then when you look at like purpose over fear, fear holds you back, and purpose forces, action upon you. So these things were just this is the kind of information we get. And I've got a ton of notes, but I don't want to go into, that's not what this talks about. But just like, as you can see, that was the start off. And then, we had our Empower Life group meeting. So today was week 3 of the Danielle Delgado. And so we were listening to that, and then that was mind-blowing stuff, right? So today she was talking about that there's never a problem, there's only solutions. And she actually has ran her household on Solutionist. So like, if you bring a problem to her, you better have 3 solutions with that, or else don't even talk to her, because she doesn't even deal with problems. She doesn't even have that vocabulary in her house or in her existence. So I thought that was great. Looking at not being a complainer, but being a solutionist and trying to figure it out, and like living by that. I can see so much abundance and from a complete different space. So like, that's how we started our day off. And then we got into the dials, and I did a live dialing session with Dana today, and we had some people in the room, and I was able to make a sale with that person, and it was really great. And then getting the feedback from my peers and her was great. And a lot of it was good feedback. A couple little things we're nitpicking now to just like constantly get better at our craft. Maybe not getting into the why too much, or making sure that you're bringing in, somebody else that's not there, that might be a decision maker at the right times. But really, a lot of it from what I heard, which was great, is, my peers were saying that it's something I don't even really know I do, but I guess it's just being in the business, or being in sales for so long, is that I matched the lady's tonality and how she was talking, and I talked like her with the pace and tone. And then when I would ask her questions and she'd give me information, I would dissolve. I would allow her to also know a little bit about me. And so I would go into what's relatable but personal. And they said the way that I did that with such ease, and it was so easy of a conversation, and that a lot of people struggle with being vulnerable about themselves. We call that the give and take. So you have to give if you're taking. So you can't just take. And what do we mean by the give and take? So that is the main thing. So the give and take, the give is yourself, the take is what you want from them. So as you're asking these clarifying questions, as you're probing to, get information to help you bring down, the avenue, but really what we're doing is we're collecting information so therefore that we can have an arsenal to attack them at close, but not really attack them, but then we can bring back all the stuff up they said about why they wanted this policy and what it was doing. So it's like ammunition we're collecting, trying to figure out the potholes of where we might get stuck, trying to basically get rid of all the objections. So when we get down to the end, it's just writing the policy, not going through a bunch of closing objections. So that's what the give and take is. So if you ask them, something about them personally, or they divulge that their parents passed away, or how they passed away, or what happened to their brother, or this accident, and there's something that is relatable on a similar topic, that's when you share the giving part. And what it does is it creates trust, likability, and they become comfortable with you. They're sharing personal stuff, you're sharing personal stuff. It doesn't work if they share and you're just like asking questions and you're not giving any of yourself. Then immediately they're standoff. I'd be standoff. Hey, I'm pouring out to you and you're giving me nothing. Like, think about it in a relationship, it's the same thing. It's always the give and take. So as much as you're taking from them, you got to be prepared to give. And so some people say, well, I don't have much to give. Baloney. There's tons of things that have happened in your life. Everybody that is basically doing life insurance, from what I know, is pretty much over the age of, I would say, 21, 25 and above, right? So you've had stuff happen in high school, parents, friends. I mean, if it's not you, your best friend, your cousin, your second cousin twice removed's sister that you met one time, whatever it is, you got to be able to give that back to them. And when you do, you get that effect to the client. That lady's texted me 3 times today to tell me how much she appreciates the time that I took to, and how I helped her out. And she didn't know much about insurance. She didn't, and so this was a big step for her. And that's what we get to do for families. Zach said something earlier today that really hit home. He said, every time you make a phone call and every time someone's on the other line, that is somebody where you can make an impact in not only their life, but multiple generational lives to come. And those people on the phone, they need us because this is a very tough decision. There's a lot of doubt and fear and not much information that people know. It's a very, very emotionally hard decision for people to make. And we have the gift to help them through the process and not only put them in a better position, but then that's going to affect their family and their family's family and so on. So, anytime you're feeling down and out, the next person yells at you. Like not today, the other day I had somebody basically like tell me they're going to come and beat me up and, slice me. And if I call him again, and I still don't even know if that was the right person or not. But, I can't like get all upset about it because that's going to do nothing for the next person. because that next person is the person that really needs you. And so if you're not there in the right mind for the right reason, you're going to miss out on helping them. And then that's going to affect them and their family, but it's also going to affect you and your family, because then you're not going to be able to produce any income, and you're not going to have any purpose. You're not going to feel good about your job or your career. At least that's me. So that's the big thing, man. You got to give and take. It's got to be a mirroring match. It can't just be a sergeant barking orders, and that stuff either comes naturally to you or you got to work on it. But if you're finding that you're losing connection, then that could be a big reason why. So that's really all I have. Today is day 28. So we are getting close. You see the momentum going. We're having success. Things are getting fun. Can't wait for all these deposits to start hitting and we just start helping more families. And then I'm going to start hiring soon, and we're going to start teaching people how to do this. And we're going to remember what I said before. In our society nowadays, about 8% of people make it in this business. So we are changing that here. Empower Life Group. Empower Life Group. We're changing it. I don't know how big it's going to get, but I guarantee you we're going to get more than 8% of people success. Today in our Zoom room, our quiet dialing Zoom room, I think 90% of everybody that was in there wrote a sale today. The power of people working together, it's amazing. So if you want to be a part of that, come on, let us know. We're here. See you guys tomorrow. See if we can help 2 more families tomorrow. Go back to back double day.